Well, hello everybody. My name is Casey Jones Costello, and this is Gail Hyde, and we are together in our greenery to sing some and play some Irish songs for you. And we've been sort of going through holidays. The past few programs we've done, we did a love song show for Valentine's Day and a Christmas song show for Christmas, and we are now up to St. Patrick's Day, which of course calls for some Irish music. And the past few years, Gail and I have always done Irish programs together throughout the community, and last year we prepared a whole bunch of Irish shows, which almost all of which got canceled because that was right when COVID-19 was shutting down all public performances. And so this year we're making a video program for everyone to enjoy. Not only this year, when live performances are still not really happening very much, but also hopefully in the months and perhaps even years to come. People will hopefully enjoy this video. And I'm including some of my favorite Irish songs, and as well as a couple songs that I wrote the words and music to myself. So I hope you'll enjoy this program. And we are going to start off with a wonderful song called When Irish Eyes Are Smiling. Well, as I said, we're going to begin our program with When Irish Eyes Are Smiling, and it's, in my opinion, one of the quintessential Irish American songs. It's, been covered by so many artists over the years, and even sing along with Mitch Miller and the gang, a native of Rochester, New York, I might add. And the music was written by Ernest R. Ball, with lyrics by Chauncey Olcott and Jeffrey Graff Jr. in 1912. And Chauncey Olcott was actually a composer and a lyricist and a singer and actor, entertainer who was born and raised in Buffalo, New York, who was not actually fully Irish, but he was part Irish, and Chauncey was his stage name. So Chauncey Olcott was a stage name to make himself sound more Irish, because he wrote a bunch of Irish songs and appeared in a lot of Irish-themed musicals, and so basically Irish-themed entertainment was his livelihood. And this is probably one of the most famous songs for which he's remembered. So from 1912, the piece is called When Irish Eyes Are Smiling. There's a tear in your eye, and I'm wondering why, for it never should be there at all. With such power in your smile, sure a stone you would beguile, so there's never a teardrop should fall. When your sweet lilting laughter's like some fairy song, and your eyes twinkle bright as can be, you should laugh all the while, and all other time smile, and now smile a smile for me. When Irish eyes are smiling, sure it's like a morning spring. In the lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing. When Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. And when Irish eyes are smiling, sure they steal your heart away. For your smile is a part of the love in your heart, and it makes even sunshine more bright. Like the linnet's sweet song crooning all the day long, comes your laughter so tender and light. For the springtime of life is the sweetest of all. There is ne'er a real care or regret. And while springtime is ours, throughout all of youth's hours, let us smile each chance we get. When Irish eyes are smiling, sure it's like a morning spring. In the lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing. When Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. And when Irish eyes are smiling, sure they steal your heart away. This song we're going to do is one of the songs that I wrote myself. I like to compose music and I like to write words, so I don't profess to be an Irving Berlin or Cole Porter, but I do like to write songs whenever I am inspired to do so. And this is a piece which I wrote a few years ago called Will You Love Me the Same? And I don't know, you can determine for yourself how Irish it really sounds, but I tried to evoke a sense of Irish music when I was composing it, as well as the lyrics, which specifically refer to Ireland and places like Galway Bay. And so it tells a sort of a love story, and I hope you enjoy it. So with words and music by me, Casey Jones Costello, the song is called Will You Love Me the Same? Summer's day, long years now away, I kissed a sweet colleen near old Galway Bay. Her eyes were so kind, her hair was so fair, I asked us to promise a lifetime we'd share. Will you love me the same as when you called me mavourneen down by the glen? And when the thrush sings in spring again, will you still love me the same as then? Will you still love me the same as then? Seasons flew by like birds in the sky. Our wedding day passed and we heard babies cry. And often I'd ponder back on the time I prayed for us always to have love so sublime. Will you love me the same as when you called me mavourneen down by the glen? And when the thrush sings in spring again. Will you still love me the same as then? Will you still love me the same as then? Now we are here, the gloaming draws near, but always together we spend every year. And now I can say what I'm certain of, that nothing can ever erase our true love. Will you love me the same as when you called me Mavourneen down by the glen? And when the thrush sings in spring again, will you still love me the same as then? Will you still love me the same as then? Well, this next song we're going to do dates back to 1876, I believe, and the words and music were written by Thomas P. Westendorf. And if that name doesn't sound Irish to you, it's because he wasn't Irish. In fact, it sounds German to me, and I'm pretty sure he was German, at least American German. He was an American composer with, I'm assuming, German ancestry, and he wrote this song for his wife, whose name happened to be Kathleen, and that is why this song has become such an Irish favorite, Irish-American favorite, not because of the composer's origins, but merely because of the title of the song. And regardless of how it came to be an Irish classic, there's no disputing the fact that it is one. And it's another song that I recall Mitch Miller and the gang singing, so I hope you remember it as well, all of you watching, wherever you are. And it's called I'll Take You Home Again, Kathleen. I'll take you home again, Kathleen, across the ocean wild and wide, to where your heart has ever been, since first you were my bonny bride. The roses all have left your cheek, I've watched them fade away and die. Your voice is sad whene'er you speak, and tears bedim your loving eyes. Oh, I will take you back, Kathleen, to where your heart will feel no pain. And when the fields are fresh and green, I'll take you to your home again. To that dear home beyond the sea, my Kathleen queen shall again return. And when thy old friends welcome thee, thy loving heart will cease to yearn, where laughs the little silver stream, beside your mother's humble cot, and brightest rays of sunshine gleam, there all your grief will be forgot. Oh, I will take you back, Kathleen, to where your heart will feel no pain. And when the fields are fresh and green, I'll take you to your home again. This next piece we're going to do is actually based on a traditional Irish air, which dates back to at least the 1700s, if not earlier. And it was arranged at the turn of the 20th century, circa 1910, by the Irish composer and arranger Herbert Hughes, who set and arranged the traditional Irish air to a poem by the Irish poet William Butler Yeats, usually known often just as W.B. Yeats. And although the poem was not written for this particular Irish air, Herbert Hughes was obviously onto something when he decided to set W.B. Yeats's poem to this music, because the two seemed like they were destined to be united, and indeed they are now, I would say, indelibly linked in the popular culture and popular consciousness. And it's been covered by many artists over the years, including the great John McCormack, the famous Irish tenor. And I hope you enjoy my version of it as well. So the piece is called Down by the Sally Gardens. Sally Gardens, my love and I did meet. She passed the Sally Gardens with little snow-white feet. She bid me take love as the leaves grow on the tree. But I, being young and foolish, with her did not agree. In a field by the river, my love and I did stand, and on my leaning shoulder she placed her snow-white hand. She bid me take life easy as the grass grows on the weirs. But I was young and foolish, and now am full of tears. This next song we're going to do is actually not an Irish song at all. However, it is a song from the British Isles, so I guess it still fits with the Celtic theme of our program, if not strictly St. Patrick's Day. It's actually a Welsh carol, which is often performed as a lullaby, and sometimes it's even performed as a Christmas song. And regardless, I just think it's a beautiful piece, and I wanted to include it in our program today. It, like many Celtic folk songs and songs of the British Isles, the tune dates back hundreds of years, but this particular arrangement was done much more recently in MCM XCVI, which I think that's 1996, but don't hold me to that. And the arrangement was done by Ruth Elaine Schramm, and I've heard a lot of versions of this song, and this arrangement is my favorite. So if you know the song, I hope you'll enjoy it, and I hope you think that this arrangement is as nice as I thought it was when I first heard it. So I hope you enjoy the piece, All Through the Night.
Sleep, my child, and peace attend thee all through the night. Guardian angels, God will send thee all through the night. Soft the drowsy hours are creeping, hill and vale in slumber sleeping. I, my loving vigil keeping all through the night. While the moon her watch is keeping all through the night, while the weary world is sleeping all through the night. O'er thy spirit gently stealing, vision of delight revealing, breathes a pure and a holy feeling all through the night. Sleep, my child, and peace attend thee all through the night. All through the night.
This next piece we're going to do is another piece which dates back to at least the 1700s, and it's an old Irish melody, an old Irish air, which was originally set to words by the Irish poet Thomas Moore, and his songs were among the most famous of the 19th century, of the Romantic era, both in the UK and Ireland, as well as in the United States. And many of his songs are still widely performed to this day, and this next song is one of those pieces. He reportedly wrote the poem for his wife, much like Thomas P. Westendorf wrote I'll Take You Home Again, Kathleen, for his wife. And it's a lovely sentiment, the lyrics are, and it's an equally beautiful melody. And this particular arrangement of the tune, the old Irish melody, was arranged by Roger Quilter back in 1947. So I hope you'll enjoy my version of Believe me if all those endearing young charms.
Believe me if all those endearing young charms which I gaze on so fondly today were to change by tomorrow and fleet in my arms like fairy gifts fading away, thou wouldst still be adored as this moment thou art. Let thy loveliness fade as it will, and around the dear ruin each wish of my heart would entwine itself verdantly still. Is not while beauty and youth are thine own, and thy cheeks unprofaned by a tear, that the fervor and faith of a soul can be known, to which time will but make thee more dear. Know the heart that has truly loved never forgets, but as truly loves unto the close. As the sunflower turns on her god when he sets, the same look which she turned when he rose.
This next song we're going to do is another piece written by Chauncey Alcott and Ernest R. Ball, who co-wrote When Irish Eyes Are Smiling, and they co-wrote the music for this song along with lyrics by Rita Johnson Young, who I remember best, or I shouldn't say remember, who I know best as a contributor to a number of operettas, especially those with Victor Herbert, such as Naughty Marietta. So a lot of famous musicians and lyricists contributed to this next song, and indeed it was immensely popular at the turn of the 20th century. It was written back in 1910, and it was covered by a number of artists, including, like so many of the songs in this program, by the great Irish tenor John McCormack, who was equally popular in the UK and in Ireland and in the United States. And he was one of the few really classically trained singers of the day to be equally successful in high art songs, opera songs, as well as popular songs. And this is really more in the popular vein, and it's almost unthinkable nowadays to imagine an opera singer having a pop song hit on the radio. But back in those days, it was not uncommon, because good singers could sing any types of songs, and I think that's the thing that's changed from back then versus today. But anyway, I guess a good singer can still sing any type of song. It's just that there are a few truly good singers in today's popular music landscape, but that's a story for another time, my little tangent there. In any event, this next song is one that John McCormack introduced and made famous, and so from 1910, the song is called Mother Machree.
There's a spot in me heart which no calling may own. There's a depth in my soul never sounded or known. There's a place in my memory, my life that you fill. No other can take it, no one ever will. Sure, I love the dear silver that shines in your hair, and the brow that's all furrowed and wrinkled with care. I kiss the dear fingers so toil-worn for me. Oh, God bless you and keep you, Mother Machree. Every sorrow or care in the dear days gone by was made bright by the light of the smile in your eye. Like a candle that sat in a window at night, your fond love has cheered me and guided me right. Sure, I love the dear silver that shines in your hair, and the brow that's all furrowed and wrinkled with care. I kiss the dear fingers so toil-worn for me. Oh, God bless you and keep you, Mother Machree.
This next song we're going to do is a piece which was written back in 1913 by J.R. Shannon. He wrote the words and music for this next song. And although it was written in 1913, I'd say arguably its greatest popularity was achieved 31 years later in 1944 when the great Bing Crosby, probably the most successful performer of the first half of the 20th century, most successful singer as well as actor, at least one of the most successful singers and actors of the first half of the 20th century, sang this song in his film Going My Way, for which he won the Academy Award for Best Actor, and it remains to this day one of his most critically acclaimed roles. And he sang a number of wonderful songs in the film, including Swingin' on a Star. But Turalura Lura, which is the name of our next song, is also very fondly remembered, at least by me, and hopefully by some of you who are watching this as well. And if you've never heard Bing Crosby sing it, and if you've never heard, or never seen, rather, Going My Way, I would certainly highly recommend it. So, in honor of Bing Crosby and the Irish theme of our program, this next song is called Turalura Lura. That's an Irish lullaby.
Over in Killarney, many years ago, me mother sang a song to me in tones so sweet and low. Just a simple little ditty in her good old Irish way. And I'd give the world if she could sing that song to me this day. Turalura lura, turalura lie, turalura lura. Hush now, don't you cry. Turalura lura, tooraloora, that's an Irish lullaby. Oft in dreams I wander to that cot again. I feel her arms a-hugging me as when she held me then, and I hear her voice a-humming to me as in days of yore, when she used to rock me fast asleep outside the cabin door. Tooraloora, tooraloora-lie, tooraloora-loora, hush now, don't you cry. Tooraloora-loora, tooraloora-lie, tooraloora-loora, that's an Irish lullaby.
This next piece we're going to do is a fun piece, an up-tempo piece, unlike some of the others we've done. And the music was written by Seamus O'Connor with words by John J. Stamford, with American lyrics added by Red Lantham, Wamp Carlson, and Guy Bonham, the three jesters, as they're noted on the sheet music. It's a song that's been covered by many artists over the years, Bing Crosby among them, and I hope that some of you recognize it. From 1917, the piece is called McNamara's Band. McNamara, I'm the leader of the band. Although we're few in numbers, we're the finest in the land. We play at wakes and weddings and at every fancy ball. And when we play to funerals, we play the march from Saul. Oh, the drums go bang and the cymbals clang and the horns they blaze away. McCarthy pumps the old bassoon while I the pipes do play. And a Hennessy Tennessee toodles the flute and the music is something grand. A credit to old Ireland is McNamara's band. Right now we are rehearsing for a very swell affair, the annual celebration, all the gentry will be there. When General Grant to Ireland came, he took me by the hand. Says he, I never saw the likes of McNamara's band. Oh, the drums go bang, the cymbals clang, the horns they blaze away. McCarthy pumps the old bassoon while I the pipes do play. And Hennessy Tennessee toodles the flute and the music is something grand. A credit to old Ireland is McNamara's band. Well, this next song we're going to do is, I guess, not strictly an Irish piece, but the great John McCormick popularized this song in the late 1930s. It was written in 1936 and achieved great popularity during the Second World War, particularly in the United Kingdom. And the words and music were written by Edward Lockton, and music by the words by Edward Lockton, which was a pseudonym. And music by Alan Murray. And it's just a beautiful song. So I consider it to be an Irish song, but it's also a love song. And the message, the music is beautiful, and the message, the sentiment of the lyrics are just equally moving. And so I can certainly see why it was so popular during the Second World War, and I think it resonates today as much as ever. So I hope you'll enjoy it, and it's called I'll Walk Beside You.
I'll walk beside you through the world today, while dreams and songs and flowers bless your way. I'll look into your eyes and hold your hand. I'll walk beside you through the golden land. I'll walk beside you through the world tonight, beneath the starry skies ablaze with light, and in your heart love's tender words I'll hide. I'll walk beside you through the eventide. I'll walk beside you through the passing years, through days of cloud and sunshine, joy and tears. And when the great call comes, the sunset gleams, I'll walk beside you to the land of dreams.
This next song we're going to do is yet another piece which was introduced, or at least popularized, if not introduced, by the great John McCormack. And it's an Irish piece which remains much more widely known in Ireland than it does in the United States, to the extent that it's remembered at all, since it was written back in 1910. But it never achieved as great of a popularity here as it did in the UK and in Ireland. But John McCormack covered it, and it's just such a beautiful and powerful song that I love singing it. Its music was written by Dermot McMurrough with words by Josephine V. Rowe, and it's about the narrator speaking of his lost love who has passed away and who he'll never see again, but who he yearns and pines to see. And it just evokes powerful imagery with its combination of lyrics and music. And so I hope you'll enjoy Makushla, which is an Irish term for, it literally means my pulse, but in essence it means my beloved or my love. So from 1910, the song is Makushla.
Makushla, Makushla, your sweet voice is calling me softly again and again. Makushla, Makushla, I hear its dear pleading. My blue-eyed Makushla, I hear it in vain. Makushla, Makushla, your white arms are reaching. I feel them enfolding. caressing me still, fling them out from the darkness, my lost love, Makushla. Let them find me and bind me again, if they will. Makushla, Makushla, your red lips are saying that death is a dream and love is for aye. Then awaken, Makushla, awake from your dreaming, my blue-eyed Makushla. Awaken to stay.
This next song we're going to do is actually a piece from Broadway, and I love to do songs from musical theater and from Broadway, as people who have heard me before probably know. And this song is not only a Broadway song, but also an Irish song, or at least an Irish American song. Its music was written by Burton Lane, and the words were written by E.Y. Yip Harburg for their 1947 Broadway musical called Finian's Rainbow, which, although it takes place in America, takes place in the United States, is about a settlement of Irish immigrants, and they live in this sort of mystical village. And it's an interesting story, and it has a beautiful score with some pop standards that came from it, including Old Devil Moon and this next song that we're going to do. So from 1947, the song is called How Are Things in Glockamora?
I hear a bird, Londonderry bird. It well may be he's bringing me a cheering word. I hear a breeze, a river Shannon breeze. It well may be it's followed me across the sea. Then tell me, please, how are things in Glockamora? Is that little brook still leaping there? Does it still run down to Donny Cove, through Killybegs, Kilkerry and Kildare? How are things in Glockamora? Is that willow tree still weeping there? Does that lassie with a twinkling eye come smiling by? And does she walk away sad and dreamy there, not to see me there? So I ask each weeping willow and each brook along the way, and each lass that comes a-sighing to relay, how are things in Glockamora this fine day?
Well, we're going to do another song now from Finian's Rainbow, and this one's actually my favorite from the score. And as I said before, the music was written by Burton Lane with words by E.Y. Yip Harburg, and those of you who are not fans of the great, or at least not as intimately familiar with the Great American Songbook as I am, may not know that E.Y. Yip Harburg was also the lyricist who wrote the lyrics for the songs from The Wizard of Oz. And so he wrote several famous songs about rainbows. And although this is not his most famous one, that would be Over the Rainbow, this one is just as beautiful in my opinion. And it's an inspirational song. And I've always really loved it. So I hope that the sentiment resonates with you as much as it always has with me. So from 1947's Finian's Rainbow, the song is called Look to the Rainbow.
On the day I was born, said my father, said he, I've an elegant legacy waiting for ye. 'Tis a rhyme for your lips and a song for your heart, to sing it whenever the world falls apart. Look, look, look to the rainbow, follow it over the hill and stream. Look, look, look to the rainbow, follow the fellow who follows a dream. 'Twas a sumptuous gift to bequeath to a child. Oh, the lure of that song kept her feet running wild. For you never grow old, and you never stand still, with whippoorwill singing beyond the next hill. Look, look, look to the rainbow, follow it over the hill and stream. Look, look, look to the rainbow, follow the fellow who follows a dream. So I bundled me a heart and I roamed the world free, to the east with the lark, to the west with the sea. And I searched all the earth and I scanned all the skies, but I found it at last in my own true love's eyes. Look, look, look to the rainbow, follow it over the hill and stream. Look, look, look to the rainbow, follow the fellow who follows a dream. Follow the fellow, follow the fellow, follow the fellow who follows a dream.
This next song we're going to do is another piece which I wrote the words and music for, and I've performed it a number of times throughout the past 5 years when I first wrote it, and audiences have seemed to enjoy it, so I hope that you'll enjoy it as well. And I really couldn't tell you how I got the inspiration for this song. All I can say is that the melody and the lyrics just came to me one day. The title is Just an Old Tintype of My Young Irish Mother, and the title refers to the early 1900s, late 1800s photography process of taking a photographic positive image on a piece of tin. And they remained popular, especially with low-income people, as many Irish immigrant families were, through the 1920s, even as other photographic processes became more popular. So I guess that's one reason why I came up with this song and with Irish and tintypes. But I certainly don't have any tintypes of my Irish mother because it's the 21st century. However, my mom is in fact part Irish. But anyway, regardless of how the inspiration for this song came to be, I hope that you'll enjoy it. So, with words and music by me, the song is called Just an Old Tintype of My Young Irish Mother.
I have a beautiful memory, ever so close to my heart. 'Tis of the mother who crossed the sea from old Erin to a new start. Just an old tintype of my young Irish mother sits on the mantel so dear, with her smile so rare and her eyes like no other. What I'd give just to have her right here. How I long for my childhood of yore, if she'd sing me to sleep as before. And if heaven I find, I shall know, for no other could be there but my young Irish mother. Fondly I think back to yesteryear, when in the garden I'd play. Mother would tend to her roses dear, still their fragrance lingers today. Just an old refrain of the songs that my mother would sing as she rocked in her chair. I would cling to her, and with kisses she'd smother, if I could but again be back there. How I long for my childhood of yore, if she'd sing me to sleep as before. And if heaven I find, I shall know, for no other could be there but my young Irish mother.
This next song we're going to do is another Irish folk song, which was set to words by the Irish poet Thomas Moore back in the early 1800s, and it was set to an original, or to a traditional Irish air, and it's one of my personal favorites of Thomas Moore's pieces, and I've always, at the risk of sounding morbid, I've always wanted it to be played at my funeral, but and in fact, I remember talking to one of my former voice teachers, and she said the same thing. So I guess I'm not the only one to have thought that, but it's just such a beautiful song, and this particular arrangement was done by Greg Gilpin, and so I hope you enjoy this version of, or my version of, The Last Rose of Summer.
is nigh, to reflect back her blushes, or give sigh for sigh. I'll not leave thee, thou lone one, to pine on the stem, since the lovely are sleeping. Go sleep thou with them. Thus kindly I scatter thy leaves o'er the bed, where thy mates of the garden lie scentless and dead. So soon may I follow when friendships decay, and from love's shining circle the gems drop away. When true hearts lie withered and fond ones are flown, oh, who would inhabit this bleak world alone? 'Tis the last rose of summer left blooming alone.
This next song we're going to do is another piece by Chauncey Alcott. However, this piece he didn't co-write with anybody. He wrote both the words and music all by himself, and it was written back in 1899, so it's one of the older pieces in our program. As far as the pop songs go, the pieces by Thomas Moore are much older than that, but among the popular American Irish songs, this is one of the older ones. And it's one that I think most of you will probably recognize, and it really hardly needs much more introduction than that. So from 1899, the song is called My Wild Irish Rose.
If you listen, I'll sing you a sweet little song of a flower that's now drooped and dead, yet dearer to me, yes, than all of its mates, though each holds aloft its proud head. 'Twas given to me by a girl that I know. Since we've met, faith, I've known no repose. She is dearer by far than the world's brightest star, and I call her my wild Irish rose. My wild Irish rose, the sweetest flower that grows. You may search everywhere, but none can compare with my wild Irish rose. My wild Irish rose, the dearest flower that grows. And someday for my sake she may let me take the bloom from my wild Irish rose. They may sing of their roses, which by other names would smell just as sweetly, they say. But I know that my rose would never consent to have that sweet name taken away. Her glances are shy whene'er I pass by the bower where my true love grows. And my one wish has been someday I may win the heart of my wild Irish rose. My wild Irish rose, the sweetest flower that grows. You may search everywhere, but none can compare with my wild Irish rose. My wild Irish rose, the dearest flower that grows. And someday for my sake she may let me take the bloom from my wild Irish rose.
This next song we're going to do was written by Dr. Arthur Callahan, with words and music by Arthur Callahan. And he wrote this piece, well, the copyright date is 1957. I could have sworn it was earlier than that, like circa 1950. But in any event, it was in the early 1950s, or early to mid 1950s, that he wrote this song. And the great Bing Crosby popularized this song, and it's a beautiful piece. Joe Feeney from the Lawrence Welk Show often sang this song as well, the resident Irish tenor on the Lawrence Welk Show. And so I associate it both with Joe Feeney and with Bing Crosby, but many other artists have covered it as well. So I hope you'll enjoy my version of it too, and it's called Galway Bay.
If you ever go across the sea to Ireland, then maybe at the closing of your day, you will sit and watch the moon rise over Claddagh and see the sun go down on Galway Bay, just to hear again the ripple of the trout stream, the women in the meadows making hay, and to sit beside a turf fire in the cabin and watch the barefoot gossoons at their play. For the breezes blowing o'er the seas from Ireland are perfumed by the heather as they blow, and the women in the uplands digging praties speak a language that the strangers do not know. For the strangers came and tried to teach us their way. They scorned us just for being what we are, but they might as well go chasing after moonbeams or light a penny candle from a star. And if there is going to be a life hereafter, and somehow I am sure there's going to be, I will ask my God to let me make my heaven in that dear land across the Irish Sea.
Well, we've reached the end of our program now, and of course, no Irish program, in my opinion at least, would be complete without this last song. And ironically, perhaps, the words for this song were written by Frederick E. Weatherly, who was actually an English barrister. He was a lawyer who wrote poems and lyrics on the side. And he set an old Irish air to words that he wrote, and it became known as Danny Boy. So even though this is probably one of the most famous Irish songs of all time, really, it wasn't written until 1913 when Frederick E. Weatherly set the tune to his words, and Weatherly wasn't even Irish. And yet, there's something about it that just resonates the world over, I think, and with good reason. And so, before we do it, I want to say thank you to everybody for watching, and thank you to Gail. So let's give a warm round of applause to Gail as well for joining us. Gail Hyde.
Thank you, Casey. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy Danny Boy.
Are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the roses falling. It's you must go and I must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. It's I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny boy, I love you so. But when ye come and all the flowers are dying, if I am dead, as dead I well may be, ye'll come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say an Ave there for me, and I shall hear, though soft you tread above me, and all my grave will warmer, sweeter be, for you will bend and tell me that you love me, and I shall sleep in peace until you come to me.
Thank you again. I hope you've enjoyed this program, and if anyone's interested in CDs and DVDs, either of this program or any of the others that we've done, feel free to go to my website, www.caseyjonescostello.com, or my Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Casey Jones Costello. I hope you've all enjoyed the program, and I hope to see you all again soon. And I hope you all get to see us again soon, too, as well. So thank you so much, and goodbye.